thing. Let there be art. Yeah. Oh, where's my trash? Oh well, I'm just gonna put it over here. Hi everybody, welcome to Tharp World. I'm Alison Tharp, and today we have a really, really special episode. If the church bells are chiming, it's time for Tharp World. Every day, or every Wednesday at 6, live from the Compound Gallery and Studios in Oakland. Today, first of all, let me just explain. Today is our county fair themed episode. I'll show you what I've started with. I went to 2 county fairs in the last 2 weeks. The Marin County Fair and the Alameda County Fair, and I got so much inspiration. I collected all kinds of photos on my phone and watched so many different people. I watched all kinds of music. I basically was completely overstimulated with junk food and crowds of people and craziness that I have to do an episode on Tharp World about it. So this was started last night. I took some of the color combinations that I saw at the fair. There's like a chain link fence that had these colors, and so it's true to it as I remember. So this was started last night. I took some paper and I put these on with the press, so they're adhered to the paper with wheat paste. Today I'm going to use a technique that is a printmaking technique not using the printing press. And I thought since the last 2 episodes we got a little crazy with the cat hair, we did a lot of crafting. Today we'll do something kind of more that you guys, if you're artists at home, you could do this. You can use this technique in all kinds of different forms of art or just on its own. So what you do is get some tissue paper. I use tracing paper that's like smooth, so that your materials will stick to it. And what I did is I just drew some characters ahead of time. These are this is a kid like all bummed out in one of those little cars they push the kids around in. He looks already tired. There's like Slurpees that his parents like bought. So I drew these on, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a golden acrylic medium, which is this stuff, self-leveling clear gel. I think it works the best. Self-leveling clear gel. I'm going to use that, and then I'm also going to. Oh my God! No disaster. Don't worry. Everybody's fine. Just a little coffee. I'm going to use water and a piece of tissue paper and a little roller. So I'm going to start this right away, just launch right into it. I'm not going to do the bad drawing book today because I really want to get into the detail work of this piece. So it's going to be really, really involved and intensely detailed because my experience at the fair had so many layers and so many feelings involved. At the Marin County Fair, which was the first one I went to, I saw Huey Lewis playing with his band. They played for what seemed like hours. All the hits, some not so much hits. There was a lot of thinking going on of the band and everybody. There was so many dads in white sneakers rocking out and a lot of kids. Crowds and crowds of people. And I do like crowds to a point, but it got a little intense. Still had a great time. Saw a lot of like people eating turkey legs and the junk food. But let's just start because there's just so much. So we'll start with some of the scenery. So let's see. I want to. Oh, I'm gonna grab this piece. Earlier today, I was creating some pieces that we could stick on early, kind of so I didn't have to start everything right away. But this is a theme. This is like a corn dog stand, and it's going to go right here. I'm going to stick it right to this spot right here. So, get a little. What I'm going to do is put a little bit of this medium here mixed with water. It's really easy, and the way it's going to come out is it's not going to be a perfect print. That's why I like this technique, because it's a little shaky when it comes out. It's not totally perfect. So what I'm going to do afterward is go in and draw on top of it. So it helps you lay out a composition and get kind of a rough idea about what it's going to look like. But then you get to draw on the details yourself. we're going to start building our own county fair. I've been going to the county fair since I was a kid, and I totally love it. It never gets old, even though it's the exact same stuff every time. It never gets old. Every year is like the first year you've ever gone. I've seen hypnotists many times, and every time it astounds me completely that people can get hypnotized. I never have been hypnotized. I'm a little scared to do it, but I love watching other people get hypnotized. It's crazy that that's possible. Okay, so let's stick it right on. Hot dog stand, starting to build our county fair. And I'm going to roll this on. These need to stay on for about 5 minutes. You have to take, this is like tricky because you take them off not when it's completely dry, but also not when it's still wet. So it's a little hard to know when to peel it off, but it'll transfer. But you don't want to have this paper totally stick to it. You just want the ink and the paint to stick. I use a little one because I think you can get a bit better pressure with a smaller roll sprayer. I've chosen like an intense project to tackle on Tharp World today, but I think we're going to be able to get something done in an hour. Something done that's really cool. Okay, so we're going to put that one on and let it hang out and move on to another. So the plan is to like get the timing down so that we can get a couple of them set, peel them off, and start working. And I have like a little system. I hope it works. If it doesn't work, it's fine. We already spilled coffee. Everything's already ruined. So, all right. So the next one is these little kids are playing the shooting gallery game. And you can see I've drawn them on just kind of a rough sketch. And that's going to go like underneath this tent here. So we'll put them like right here. And then we'll draw in the details after they set. Put this on. This is a goldfish in a bag. They were giving out goldfish as prizes at one of the... I don't think that's politically correct, but there's a lot of things that aren't politically correct about the county fair. A lot of things. We won't go into it. There were pig races, and those were funny. It was a lot of build-up. The pigs went around the little track once, and it was kind of a letdown. I mean, for all the build-up. But the pigs were really cute, and they did run fast. If you had money on it, it would probably be more interesting, but they were really funny. And the people that were winning this game were winning these like donut hats that look like sombreros, and so it was really psychedelic. The fair was like covered in people. I must have been winning a lot because everybody had these sombrero donut hats, and I really, really, really wanted one. But I just have now the memories of the photographs, and now I'm doing art about it. They were so cool. And then some of them were really big, and people dragged them out to the field to watch Huey Lewis sitting on these giant donuts. It was crazy. It was a crazy experience. If you haven't tried the county fair, please go and enjoy it. This is a little kid I saw like riding a Shetland pony. I mean, everywhere you look, there's some crazy psychedelic thing going on. Like these little kids were on these Shetland ponies going around in a circle, and they were taking pictures of them. Like they would like stop behind a backdrop, and they'd get their photo taken, and the next kid would come and they'd get their photo taken, and they'd get a hat put on them and then taken off, and another hat put on and then taken off. It was like an assembly line. It was crazy. So this little kid was actually on the sign, and I loved her. She looked really bratty, and so we'll put her here. She was pretty cute too. And the rides, there was a lot of rides that were spinning, spinny rides that kids like, that like after you get older, like you get really sick. And I don't know, maybe some of the kids get sick too, but I just look at those rides and I get nauseous now. This little girl. Let's put her on. Oops. Oh, that's good. So go ahead and like make sure there's, if you don't have a brayer handy, you can also use a spoon or your palm or your finger, or maybe like a pen. This is a great technique because you can do it anywhere. You don't even need a press. I used to do this one at home a lot. It's one of the kind of the first printmaking things that I started doing. Okay, let's see if this. I'm gonna peel back this first one we've got. Oh, look at. Can you see the transfer? See how it transfers on? So doing these really big ones is kind of tricky. Got to peel it off kind of slowly. I feel like I want to leave it for a second longer. I'm just going to leave it for a second longer. Do one more before I take it completely off. So here's a guy that I took a picture of who's eating one of those giant turkey legs. And he was really enjoying it. He was carrying it around. He had his flip-flops, and he was just so happy. And his hair looked like that. He was like eating pieces of it. He was like, it was great how he was enjoying it. He just was standing by himself and really just savoring. Like, this turkey leg was actually really good. We had, Tony and I, my boyfriend, we both had a turkey leg, and I couldn't finish mine. It was like a lot of turkey. It looks like you can finish it because you think it would be mostly bone, but it's like all meat, and it's really tasty. So Marin County Fair, the turkey leg, next year you get yourself one. You do yourself a favor. You can't afford not to. Special experience. That turkey leg was good. It's a lot of meat though. Let's put him over here, next to the Krispy Kreme. This is going to be where, well, I need some room for the Krispy Kreme sign. There were Krispy Kreme burgers too, you guys. And if you can believe it, I'll put them right here. I'm going to put them right in this spot. So a burger between, cheeseburger between two Krispy Kreme donuts was for sale at one of the little stands. Completely sold out. Completely. And it's not a surprise. Because those people they weren't messing around at the county fair. They came to eat, and they came to eat some junk food. Let me tell you about the fried food they had. There's like fried Twinkies, fried Oreos, fried cheesecake, fried moon pies, fried cookie dough, fried watermelon, fried pineapple upside down cake. That's right. So if you didn't go, you know what you missed. I have no idea what any of that fried stuff was like, but I heard the cookie dough was fantastic. That's what Tony had. One guy standing in line at the fried cheesecake kiosk said that the cheesecake was encased in a kind of a loaf of fried batter, and it looked like a snake had swallowed a piece of cheesecake. It was just like it was the shape of the cheesecake, but it was like all encased in this like softness. We were all laughing, and they're like, which is the best one? But I think the fried Oreos and the fried cookie dough are like the most popular. There was also a fried cheeseburger on a stick, and that's not a lie. That is a fact. I saw it. Oh, look how perfect this transfer is. See, this is like, so I guess it's about 7 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes. Look at how great that transfer. Perfect. I've never done a better transfer. I think it's because I was actually, it's cool because it's transferring right over the other paper. I've never done this before. Wow, look at that. That's so neat. I have never tried that before. I love how that corn dog is just like this. It's like emerging out of the stand like a killer whale jumping out of the ocean. That's really good. Wow. And sometimes it's cool to leave some of the paper if you want a little bit of variation in color. Working on all white paper, sometimes it's kind of cool to have this. Oh my god, look how neat that is. I've never actually tried to layer this technique on top of other paper, so I'm really excited that this is working. It's really fun when it actually works. And it's really fun when it actually works on live TV. And everybody's watching, all of America is watching. on the edge of their seats. Because this really is the most exciting thing going on right now on this Wednesday night. Cool. There's a little bit left. Oh, it's so, that's really... And the best thing about this technique, too, is that all different materials will transfer with the tissue paper. Graphite works, paint pens, Sharpies, and acrylic paint. Even watercolor will transfer. And that I haven't tried other kinds of tracing paper, but this kind works really well. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's just that yellow tracing paper. You can get it at most art stores. Okay, let's try these guys. See if they're ready. Oh yeah, so the graphite is transferring really nicely. If you wait too long, the paper sticks right to it, so you don't want to do that. You actually want to almost leave a layer of the paper there. See how this is? It's perfect. It's just leaving just a little bit of the paper. Cool, so we can definitely draw on top of that. Let's see how this little kid is working out. Oh, here we go. You can see like it transferred right over the other paper, which is so cool. I'm going to see if this guy's ready yet. Oh, he is ready. Nice. It's like his head is exploding. It's almost like he's eating the turkey leg and then he's having these thoughts. And it's just like no words can describe the flavors. I mean, it was smoked and marinated, I think, overnight or longer. And it was just perfect. It was like the perfect turkey leg. I've never had that one. This is not from the county fair. This lady is just someone that we saw at the Burger Records party in Oakland I guess it was on Sunday, the Burger Boogaloo, where a bunch of bands played. And me and two other hairdressers saw this girl sitting, and she had like the best haircut. And we talked about her for a while before we actually approached her and asked her, like, where did you get your haircut? We have to know. And she said she cut it herself, and we were all just in complete admiration and in shock. So I actually drew a picture of her hair because I haven't been able to stop thinking about. I was like, how did she do it? I mean, I've been doing hair a long time, and I don't even know. I don't know how she did it. It was like a perfect accident that just worked out. She'll never be able to do it again, probably. But I decided to include her in this. Is this the right size? Yeah. I decided to include her in this, too, because it was all part of the same weekend. And her hair needs to be commemorated somehow in a work of art at some time, because it was just too perfect not to be. I don't even do it justice with my drawing. It flowed just so perfectly. It was like kind of like a Jane Fonda, like 70s shag. A complicated haircut to do. On this girl, I was just amazed by it. So we're going to include her. We're going to include her in this. So I'll do one more piece before I start to add the details and connect all of this together. This is the Krispy Kreme sign. It says Krispy Kreme burger, get it here. And I'm just going to finish inking this sign. Let's make sure this is the right size. Yeah, it is. So I had to write it in the other way, backwards, so that it comes out the right way. And the lines were very long. Every line was really, really long, but they had wonderful arts and crafts from all ages of people. And so just quilting and jams and pies and baked goods everywhere on display, winning awards. It's the only time the Bay Area really feels like a small town is at the county fair. So here's the burger. So I can make the sign. So many people waited in this line only to find out they were out of the Krispy Kreme burger. It's going to be hard to really truly capture its essence. Even in the picture, the donut itself was like, it looked shiny with the glazing, and the burger looked fresh. The lettuce was crisp, and the red onion was thrown on, just like all, like no one cared that much, but it was just perfect. I don't know how it would taste like have a red onion like with a donut, but somebody thinks it's a good idea, and apparently lots of people loved it. Put the green. Huey Lewis played in Marin, which was his hometown apparently, and so many fans came. We were standing, so I would have included Huey in this, but from my vantage point, I couldn't even see him. It was a sea of people who were absolutely in love with Huey, but his voice was kind of going out towards the end, and he would say, my voice is a little rough, sorry about that. And so in the middle of the set, he started to thank people. And this was like my favorite part of the set, because he's such a genius performer in doing this. He started to thank. He thanked his band, and he thanked his family, and he thanked the people at the fair, and he started thanking the parking attendants, and he thanked everybody who worked at the fair. And he started to thank their families, and then he started to thank every teacher he ever had, when he was a kid. And then he started to thank all his kids' teachers, and then his wife's teachers, and then he started to talk about, he just went on and on and on and on. I swear the thanking it went on forever. And it's like, I don't think Huey's going to play anymore. I think he's just going to keep thanking people. And he did for quite a while. And then he played a couple more songs. And the crowd was dancing. They just loved him. He played on into the night when the Ferris wheel was all lit up with lights. It was truly magical. Truly, truly magical. So these are the Krispy Kreme donuts up here. And just for fun, and this wasn't part of the sign, but I'm just going to add some sprinkles to it, because that's fun too, and they're colorful. Oh, you know what else they had? They had a patriotic tattoo contest and a patriotic nail art contest. And there were so many couples dressed in matching American flag clothing. That was really fun too. I love when people get into it. Let's see. Let's make the background. It was kind of like, they wanted to make the Krispy Kreme burger kind of like it was floating in heaven. So it was like nestled on a cloud of soft paper, like you were just gonna cradle it like a tiny baby before you eat it. Somebody who photographed that Krispy Kreme did a really good job, because clearly it made an impression on me. That doesn't do it justice, but we're going to have to make do with these limited materials that we have. Trying to shade the burger just so as it was cooked in perfection. And colored pencils show up too, when you transfer them, so we'll just it'll go right here, right above everything else. That's a polka dot Ferris wheel. So we'll put the Krispy Kreme sign right here. But the best part about the Alameda County Fair is there's a whole warehouse room full of different infomercials all going on at the same time. And they're selling all kinds of crazy stuff, like cookware and cleaning products and dog brushing, combs, and it's just it's like you can walk through infomercial land. It's kind of a hard sell. Like you don't want to linger because they'll draw you in and then it'll be hard to walk away. But that is just crazy too. It's like this cacophony of sales happening, and people are all gathered. It's crazy too because it's like free entertainment. So people are all sitting down and like watching an infomercial at the fair, and it happens every year. But every year I'm like mystified by it, and I can't help but watch like all the different products they're selling. And they're not filming it. They're just doing like a little show for everybody. You wouldn't believe how many people leave with new cookware. And so many people were leaving with these super absorbent mops, just walking out with all these. It was wild. There was everything. I think we spent almost 8 hours there. And it went by like a flash too. But then we got stuck in traffic getting around the parking lot, and that took a while. Let's see how she's doing. Oh, yeah, that's good. Oh. Not only did we take a picture of her hair, but we've been showing other hairdressers, like, since then. We've been like, look, check this out, and, like, showing it off, this random person. We're all so surprised. We've never seen anything like it. Usually when people cut their own hair, it's a total disaster. And we have to say, like, oh, it's not that bad, but really it's actually really bad, and it makes everyone uncomfortable. But we were super surprised. She's good. She should be a hairdresser. So I'm going to start to fill this in. Our hot dog stand. So here is a... And I'm going to just, like, put a face on him. Like the joy. This is the joy. Oh, the thing with these two is, like, if it's still a little bit wet, it's kind of hard to draw on top of, but Sharpies usually are okay. His little tiny hand. And this is, I don't even know what you would call this thing. It's kind of like, maybe it's like little, maybe this is where, like, they're being made. These are like little unborn corn dogs, people, babies, in the fryer. Or maybe, this is getting weird, but maybe this is like a mama corn dog and she's pregnant with all these baby corn dogs. That's kind of how it just works out, when you're doing these types of drawings. They just sort of turn into, a world gets invented, kind of as it's happening. And this is a turkey leg. I think this is actually a gallbladder that I cut out of a Scientific America magazine from the 60s, and I got a lot of my... This is funny. This is mustard. And what I've drawn, like, I cut this out of the same magazine, and these are answers to a magic trick, but I thought they could also be an explanation of that you're just never going to win you're never going to win a prize at the fair, and this is why. And it doesn't make sense now. You're going to really have to look at it. So you're going to have to buy this piece and take it home and really study this to know why you'll never win a prize at the fair. It's the odds are against you. That's your homework assignment. So purchase this piece and figure it out. It's like a slip and slide of mustard. Actually, it is a slip and slide of mustard. It all makes sense now. So we have that. I'm going to add a little color. Oh, the colors at the fair are so inventive. I could never even come up with some of the stuff that they've come up with. Like, you just see color combinations that would never normally go together. Like the pink and green and the blue and pink and white. Stuff that looks so, it would seem so tacky. And yet it's so perfect at the fair. It gives me permission to use it in my art. Well, they did it at the fair, so I think it's all going to be okay. Let's see, I'm going to add a little, here's another corn dog person. The thing I wish they had was more people dressed up as food items. I think that would have been really cool. He's got like a really long skinny legs. I don't know. That's just what's coming out. Oh yeah, it just really looks like it's... And who wants like a regular hot dog when you can have like so many of those other crazy foods? So the other hot dogs are sad. Like no one wants a regular hot dog at the fair. We'll put mustard on them too. Or ketchup, actually. So now we'll create more of a... So there was a lot of like dead grass. I think we walked on dead grass a lot, and the fairgrounds are kind of covered in it with all the foot traffic and all the events that they probably have. There's like a lot of brown. Plus it's, you know, summertime. So it's kind of dry. It's kind of a dry year. So we're going up here. Oh, what do you know? It's a little kid in one of the donut sombreros. So like, they were so awesome. That ride must, or that contest, or that game must have not have been very difficult because everybody was winning that one. But not very many people were winning cars or like trips to Hawaii and things like that. Let's give him like a more in the show. Color these shorts in black. So this thing is one of these rides. This is like a roller coaster with a face. This was an eye. It's a roller coaster haunted house. They didn't really have a haunted house. It was more like kind of like a fun house. It was scary, but I think maybe they took the maybe it was too scary and they made it just kind of weird instead of scary, but I loved, like, everywhere you looked there was like tracks and colors and like Ferris wheels. You couldn't open your eyes without seeing something perfect to take a picture of. There were so many hot tubs for sale too. You could really buy anything there. Garden equipment, hot tubs, everything. Horses and pigs and ducks. Ducks were $20 each, which seems like really cheap. Ghosts. And little kids. So many American flags. So many flags. And we saw fireworks, yeah. Cool. So let's take the Krispy Kreme sign off. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Oh, the burger came out really well. Oh, it looks really good. Oh, that's perfect. And then the donut is nearby here, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. I love when that happens. There's something really special about kind of a chain link fence covered in like pink and blue and white, like trying to make it really beautiful and festive, and yet it's still like a gnarly chain link fence. I think that was one of my favorite things that I was able to capture on my camera. Was like the texture of the fence with these colors in it. So it kind of looked like this. It didn't have barbed wire, thank goodness. perfect frame for the haircut. We have to do this around it. An immaculate crown. I might do an entire episode about that haircut here on Tharp World, but not today. Do one more up there. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a hypnotist, but if you haven't, I recommend that you see one. I recommend that you see one hypnotize other people. Or, I don't know if you want to get hypnotized yourself, but it's really, really funny to watch other people get hypnotized. It's like the funniest thing ever. And I hadn't seen it in a long time. I see it at the fair sometimes. Like maybe 2 years ago we saw one, but this one was extremely funny. One lady got hypnotized, and the hypnotist told her it was really hot in the room, and she's like sweating, and so she started taking her clothes off, and they're like, no, put them back on, And she's so hypnotized, like she was really, really getting into it. She fell off her chair. I mean, it was wild, like the way people were reacting to it. I've never seen anything quite like it. This guy was really good. I'm glad I didn't go up there and do it, but I will definitely watch it. We waited all day long to see him. It was just wild. I would highly recommend. It doesn't seem like something people would want to see, but it's really weird how easily some people get hypnotized. Oh, that's really nice. Let's add some lines to these tents here. And don't forget the photo booth. Like everybody needs to go to the photo booth when you go, because they have these old-timey photo booths that are so cute. And that's the price. Wow, this is getting really dense. Now I stand back just a little and see let's hold it up and look so far what we've got. Sometimes you can go so far into it that you kind of need to step back just a second to see like how we're doing here, what we're creating. Okay, so there's a lot going on, and I'm seeing like we need to have some action in here, and like perhaps like a pony, like there needs to be like a pony right in here that she's riding. This is really good. This is pretty much capturing what it was like. That looks like a cow. that looks like a cow and not a horse, but that now looks a little more like a horse, like with a mane. He looks really mad. He looks really upset, actually. Shetland ponies are really small. I think they're full-size horses, but they look like ponies, but they're not. They're horses. And I think you can totally have one. That looks funny. I think you can buy one and have one. So if you, like in Oakland, you can maybe put it in your backyard or your little farm in West Oakland. Like some people have pigs. I think what I remember about the Shetland pony was its hooves were like really, like it looks like it's wearing bell bottoms. Like it's got like really like shaggy legs, like this. I could be making this up, but I think it has really like puffy legs. Pony looks upset. Oh, this kid, I need to draw the kid's legs on because it looks like she's got no legs. Whenever this happens, just make their pants dark and cover it. Make their pants dark. Let's give her like black. No. There we go. Now she's wearing pants and she has legs. There we go. Problem solved. Good. It's a pony. The ponies didn't really look that upset. It just looks really weird. They didn't look that upset. I think they kind of were used to being ridden. They had a mechanical bull too, which was really funny. And a lot of people were enjoying that. They were riding the bull to like all kinds of country hits. Let's create a ground for the pony to walk on. Now we're creating some dimension in this world. So it doesn't have to make a lot of sense because the fair itself doesn't make a lot of sense. And sometimes we're more trying to capture feeling than an actual accurate depiction, because we can take pictures. But this was the feeling of the fair. And this pretty much captures it for me. I think that's... It's funny because like I don't think about like really how to draw horses until I'm like, what does a horse look like? Like you try to draw one and you're like, I can't really actually remember what its legs look like. This is close enough. Without reference, it's fine. Let's color it in with some graphite. Let's see. I feel like putting on a little bit of adding some texture to the horses. It's a really majestic beast. It looks like there's flies all around. It's not. There are. There's flies everywhere. There really were. It's not the farm until there's flies around, you know. When there's flies, then it actually looks like a real horse. I'm like making myself sad. pony looks really depressed. Okay. Wow, okay. So let's see. Let's see, what should we do next? Let's connect these. So we kind of start with those like transfers make a nice place to start, and then we'll kind of can fill in the details. And all of the prizes that are available are like these donut hats. What I saw were like stacks and stacks of these like donut sombreros that were the prizes that the kids were like winning, and they had so many. They're like shooting the water at these targets and just winning so many donut hats. Fun to start filling the details in because it takes on a whole nother. It can go in a whole completely different direction than we started with. Hence, the pregnant hot dog was pregnant with corn dogs. That wasn't something I thought was going to happen. But anything can happen when you're doing live RTV and you just start, not censoring it. There were so many dream catchers too, and lots of jewelry available. Turquoise jewelry, Western wear, a lot of tie-dye. It's like the same stuff every year, but it's just so beautiful. And it's like a real tradition for the summertime. Oh, these crazy huge stuffed animals some people were winning. Well, I don't know who wins those stuffed animals. They go like completely against the odds. They're like throwing beanbags against the odds, or darts, or something. They're winning somehow. These giant stuffed animals that are like huge, massive things. Like, where do you put that when you get it home? Where does it go? How do I even draw that? It's just like, they're so weird. Do you ever like go to someone's house and they've just like won this massive stuffed animal that takes up half the living room, and they're like, this is what I won back in 2006, that beanbag, and I threw it just right, and I've kept it forever, and we've now made it a member of the family. You have to make it a member of the family, or put it out in the garage in a plastic bag and let it get eaten up by mice, and like what do you do with it? But if you are one of those people that's like walking around with like that massive panda bear that's like yellow and pink, you're really like a fair celebrity. Like you've achieved something so great, and for a day you really truly do have something to be proud of. So It's like you can win like one of them, and it's like this huge. They're usually like some kind of a bear. It looks like a huge. They're usually like some kind of a panda bear or something. But I don't even know what they would be. What is that thing? Yeah, this is it. This is like first prize. Oh. My goodness. So we're almost there. We are almost there. Filling in just a couple more little details before the end. I can't believe how much we got done in such a short time. It's hard to capture so much information on one piece of paper, but I think this layer technique really does. I think it does a good job of it, because there's so much to the fair. There's so many layers. I mean, if you want to make it a dark experience, I'm sure you could. There's probably all kinds of horrible things that you could do there that are illegal. Or you could have some safe family fun, good, clean fun. You could do whatever you want. Huey Lewis is there. I mean, you really can make it. There's something for everybody, pretty much. There is something for everyone. Wow. Oh my gosh, I think that's going to do it. Wait. One more thing. Let's just fill in. Here's a balloon. Here's a balloon that escaped out into the outskirts of the fair, far beyond the chain link fence, through the city of Dublin Pleasanton, and up through the Altamont Pass, and on into eternity. And here it is. The Marin County Fair, the Alameda County Fair, and the Burger Records Boogaloo all combined into one. And there you have it. It was a dense experience, and this is an incredibly dense piece of work. Probably will take, more time, of course, to fill in more details, but for now, I think we've done a lot. So there it is, and thank you so much for watching Tharp World. I'll see you next week.
What took you a month to get